Want help to grow your business? Download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.
Hi there, I'm Amanda Stevens and welcome to Retail Renegades, where we explore the inside secrets of retail success stories, disruptors and entrepreneurs who are shaking the establishment, carving new niches and challenging the traditional bricks and mortar model. Now, we start today's episode with a warning. If you're a vegetarian, you might want to tune out now because today's episode is all about meat. I'm joined today by Sequoia and Dan Tarasenko from Crowd Carnivore, an innovative startup that is combining crowdsourcing and cows. The result is a platform that has the potential to completely revolutionise the way we buy meat. Dan and Zach, welcome to Retail Renegades.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Now, Crowd Carnivore is really a completely new, first of its kind business model that's never been done in the world. Tell us how it all started.
We moved to a small country town, Dan from Sydney and me from Melbourne, and we're surrounded by some of the best agriculture in Australia, from oysters to beef and lambs to fresh dairy products and cheese. And we said, hey, we can use some of our city lessons and try to get some of this into the urban areas and share. We've tried everything from sort of equity funding into helping farmers buy stock to now what it wound up being is a crowd-funded animal purchase from a group buy platform.
Awesome. So explain, it sounds so simple in its idea, and my question is, why has no one thought of this before? It seems like such an ingenious way to apply a technology crowdsourcing platform to be able to buy meat direct from a farmer. That's basically how it works? Yeah,
well, ironically, this is how people did it for hundreds of years, so they have thought of it before. We just made it a little easier by adding the online platform. In a nutshell, we get buyers together and form buying groups. For a steer, it's 12 people. For a lamb, it's 2. We do sides, though we sell 2 lambs, so it's 4 in a campaign. Once we have the correct number of people who have pledged for a share, the credit cards are charged, and the animal's ordered from the producer. It's aged, butchered, and delivered to your door pre-6 a.m.
Wow. So you're really taking out at least one, maybe 2 steps in the entire, what's the traditional process of buying meat?
In the supply chain, yeah.
And was that hard to sort of get people's head around how that works?
Not really, to be honest. Like we are meeting an existing market essentially. Like, you know, there's customers out there that are looking for a more direct connection with their food already. We still have to legally work through abattoirs, butchers, refrigerated couriers, all that sort of stuff. But the direct marketing model, a lot of farmers are trying it. A lot of customers are looking for farmers, to buy from. Unless you want to go to a farmer's market in the city, or it's actually still quite a difficult process. But we found like there's an existing market. There's farmers looking to sell their products to people who want to know the farmer, and it's just worked so good.
And neither of you have a background in agriculture. Has that been a challenge or an advantage?
It's probably worked for us. I'm a hobby farmer. I've got a few animals on a little farm I rent, but the farmers we're working with just understand that our strengths are in the online business side of things, and once they got that we were very genuine, like we left the city to move to the country to be closer to our food and have that lifestyle that they have. So we found that speaking to farmers was actually quite easy once they understood that we were genuine. If the idea is quite strange, and but yeah, it's worked for us in that once they sort of understood that we were trying to help them and on their side, it's been quite an easy process.
And has the business model, have you been clear on the business model from the start, or has it sort of evolved and you've evolved it over time?
Like I was saying before, it did evolve certainly in the first part of this last sort of year and a half. But once we narrowed it down to that we were going to do a crowdfunding bulk buy scenario, no, I'd say we figured it out pretty quickly and just focused on really good product development, really good user experience design, and while we were doing that, onboarding the correct producers. We're very strict in who we use and trying to figure out our direct marketing.
And I would imagine that one of the challenges that you had in the beginning, and you probably still have, is how do you find that balance between, I mean, you're really marketing to two audiences. You're marketing to the producer, getting them on board and educating them about how the process works, and then you're marketing to consumers. How do you strike that balance as the business grows in particular?
Well, because we have, we're accessing a market that is already conscious about their food. So we found that as long as we made the experience easy, and that's sort of where Zach's background comes in with his UI and all that sort of stuff, and then as long as we made sure it was genuine, so all the whole way through it was, the farmers know that, we're serious about this, the customers know that we're the real deal, we're not, we are not just selling some anonymous meat brand. This is not even our meat. Like we connect the farmer's brand to the customer. So we sort of found that if we were genuine and everyone, we'd just essentially get out of the way. Like we have the platform, they just connect and we just do our sort of small part in this.
And the feedback from farmers, because it's quite a different way for them to take their product to market. They're feeling good, obviously, that their product is going direct to consumers without all these people in between. But what else has been the feedback?
We have had an overwhelming response from producers. We have hundreds who have filled out a long producer questionnaire that we require them to fill out so we can find their methodology. We are really strict in who we work with, and we're in a position to do that. We are saying to our customers that we're only selling the most premium quality, grass-fed, grass-finished, chemical, hormone, antibiotic-free, who use rotational pasture methods, as well as interested in species diversity of their pastures and sort of carbon sequestration and putting carbon back in the soil. We really are choosing the farmers who are at the top of their game. But then it's also a supply issue. We need farmers who are able to supply us a regular amount of stock. So I would say the farmers have been coming out of the woodwork to want to work with us, and it's almost it's hard to choose from how many great ones have contacted us.
Isn't that a great problem to have?
Yeah.
And so where does the butcher sit in this process?
We work in two ways. Sometimes we work with a farmer who has a relationship with a butcher. Sometimes the farmer is the butcher, but though they have to be licensed and have a licensed butcher shop. And moving forward and where we're sort of headed and what we're doing as we speak is kind of centralizing the butchering to the city to keep the food carbon footprint and food miles down. So we're still sourcing farms from regional areas and giving that sort of premium price back to the regional areas. But then it's being cut at the location where it's going to get delivered, and that just means that we get the freshest, most efficient, delivery.
So essentially, Crowd Carnivore is not just an innovative business model. You're presenting a direct challenge to the duopoly of the Australian supermarket landscape. Has that seemed scary or daunting at any point?
Because we're already trying to access, our main customers right now have probably already tapped out of the supermarket system. They're already looking to purchase. They might be with purchase vegetables from their local grocer. They might have a farming contact or they visit a farmer's market when they can. So there's a decent sized customer base out there that are they're already out of that system. Moving forward, we always see a role for supermarkets. There's a convenience factor. There's always going to be customers that will only buy, especially busy city people, for example. So we do definitely offer an alternative for the farmers, especially the ones we're working with, and hopefully we can encourage other farmers and other people to do the same. But yeah, we think we're already meeting a market that's outside of the supermarkets already, and if we can get a few more, even better.
And obviously consumers are becoming more educated, and even in urban areas, I think consumers in general, we're certainly seeing a trend of not only the move to organic, but also I think consumers wanting to know where their produce is coming from. What is the size of the market for you guys?
We're actually having a bit of a hard time trying to figure out, because it's so new. It's not just people who want convenience and have it delivered to their door. I mean, supermarkets are also convenient. I mean, what we offer is so multi-part. We offer a provenance. We sort of joke that we've created a single origin coffee of meat. You don't order a meat on our website. What you do is you choose a farmer. So you know exactly the area. You can read the bio. You can read about the rainfall or their farming methodology. They choose the farmer and how they farm, and then you can pledge for a box of their meat, whether it be beef or lamb. That's something I think that a lot of people like, even more than the fact that it's delivered to their door. The other thing is people like that we pay our farmers and butchers more than they would, a small premium over what they would get if they were just selling at a stockyard. So it's really hard to say what our market, which one of those equals a market. As Dan said, we had our early adopters, which was huge. They were the people who were already actively looking for this. Moving forward, I think that people, they might pick any one of those three. Maybe they do want a little more of their money to go to help the farmer rather than just pad the margins of a CEO. Maybe they want the convenience, that they don't have time to shop for meat and they want it delivered to their door in an esky. Maybe what they want is that direct connection to the farmer. And I'd say that's really where we're focusing. We want someone who's trying to make a connection and know where their food comes from. And when they put that steak on, they say, this is from, Farmer Bryce.
And they know exactly where it's come from,
Absolutely.
as you say, how it's farmed. So there's more money for the farmer, there's savings for the consumer, and a more sustainable, ethical business model along the way. So what are the challenges that you're facing, really? Because it seems like a no-brainer for anyone.
Look, we're still delivering a highly perishable product. There's significant amounts of regulation involved in doing that. So we've been lucky in that because we have all the pieces of the puzzle already there. We've got farmers who are trying to direct market and do things better, and we're helping them. We already have the butchers who that's what they do every day. We've got good refrigerated sort of courier companies that we're working with. But it's still, if you miss something, if the farmer misses his delivery, we can lose weeks at a time. Like it still is a food chain that it's not like a laptop in a box that we can just stick back on the shelf and deliver it again tomorrow. Like there's probably that highly perishable nature is probably the most difficult part of this.
Sure, and I know one of the challenges that you're having right now, which is a great problem to have, there's plenty of startups that wouldn't have any sympathy for you, but because you've grown so quickly, you're again having to balance that supply and demand, which is rising. They're both rising fast, but at different levels. So how are you managing that right now?
Yeah, well, like Dan said, it's completely different to shipping an iPod or a pair of Nikes. We have thousands of customers who've contacted. We have a form to fill out if we're not currently delivering to your area. We have thousands of people not only filling out that form, but getting on our Facebook page saying, please come. And some of them are doing it weekly, saying, when are you going to get here? So we would love to. I mean, like you said, any business would love to just say, great, there's extra customers, let's go sell. But, we spent a year. Part of that was, of course, building the platform, but also connecting those dots and learning about that supply chain and making sure that, and getting approval from Food Safety Authority, things like that. For Sydney area, New South Wales, it's not quite starting all over again for Victoria, but it almost is. And so it's a slow ramp up. I guess that's a challenge. But hey, we're literally moments away from launching in Vic, and I'd say we're looking at Southeast Queensland after that.
And we'll talk.
To continue enjoying this presentation, download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.